Hey, Happy New Year. Happy 2019. I'm going to share with you here shortly why most people struggle with achieving their goals and why, for a lot of people, goal setting at the beginning of the year is a waste of time. All right, so I'm going to share that with you here shortly. But before I do, welcome to the next year, 2019. And the question is, as we're looking back on the previous years, how'd you do with last year's goals? Did you set any, for one? Did you achieve any, for number two, and how do you feel about it, right? A lot of people do dabble throughout their lives and kind of like, oh, I'd like to improve this or improve that. But at the end of the day, it just turns into another quote unquote resolution that falls by the wayside. So that being said, I'm so happy you're here with me today. I'm Johnny King with Level Up Lifestyle. And this is going to be a review of not only my 2019 goals, but also a kind of a little mini workshop, if you will, in supporting you and showing you how to set your own. I'll give another video of really helping you go a lot deeper than this. However, you'll get some good nuggets out of this video for yourself. And then truthfully, I'm doing this just as more accountability for myself to make sure that I follow through on my 2019 goals. So I'm putting out into the universe, putting out into the interweb, if you will, my 2019 goals. So without further ado, let's jump into it. Why are goals so important? Well, take for instance, when I was a little guy, maybe 8 years old, 7 years old, I went to summer camp and I discovered the amazing sport of archery. Now, I haven't done a whole lot since then, maybe a couple of those summers in a row. I got pretty good though. And I remember starting off just about as close as you could be, right? I don't know, 15 meters, 10 meters, I don't know what the range was, but pretty darn close. It'd be pretty hard to miss, all things considering, And I grew up an athlete, so I enjoyed those type of activities. And so sure enough, over a period of, say, 2 or 3 weeks, I did so well that I graduated, if you will, to the next, 5 meters back. And I did that several times. So maybe I started at like 10 meters, and by the end of camp, I was already to like 25 meters. So I graduated from 10 and 15 and 20, and I got to 25, and I was just about to break through 25. So I kept moving further back, right? And so the goal of hitting the bullseye got harder and harder, but my skills improved, even as a little 8-year-old, 9-year-old, right? But a lot of times I think people set these massive goals, as do I. Trust me, I've done it myself. But we set these massive goals, which make us feel very, pumped up, very significant. They're like, oh man, if I could get that, that'd be amazing. And yet, at the end of the year, there's also that little voice inside of us that says, like, who are you really kidding, right? Like, that was a pretty lofty goal. And a lot of times our goals are very kind of just empty-spirited, if you will. We kind of say, oh, I'd like to lose weight. I hear that a lot since over more than a decade, I've worked with thousands upon thousands of people, helping them kind of change their health first and then change their lifestyle beyond that, right? As a foundation, you got to get that health under control. So, but that being said, going back to my metaphor of using that kind of like that archery, if you didn't have a target, I wouldn't even know what I'd be shooting at. There'd be no point, and quite frankly, I'd probably lose interest within that first half an hour if I was just kind of out. I'd just naturally want to look for something to shoot at, right? So you have to have a goal, right? You have to have a bullseye, if you will, and then you also have to set goals that are, readily attainable, right? So it's using the SMART goals. And I'm sure you've heard that kind of as an acronym, right? It's a specific, measurable, attainable, realistic, and time-sensitive goal, right? So SMART goals are super important because if you don't have like a timeline on it, if it's very kind of obscure, then chances of you hitting the target is slim to none. And if you only check in once a year, say around this time of the year, the New Year's, chances of you again hitting the goal is slim to none. And it's very, very hard to manage something that you don't measure. So the more you measure it, the greater the probability you'll have of hitting your goal, right? But truth be told, goals change, right? Life changes. And so for me, I might set, 2019 goals, for instance, which I'll share with you here shortly. But then, things might change, but really within 90 days, that's all I can really look forward to or look out to, because beyond 90 days, I never know where I'm going to be or what I'm going to be doing, because, I'm on one side of the planet, and next thing you know, I'm working on another project over here. So your life is probably similar in your own way in how things change, right? So that being said, it's super important to set goals that are specific, that are easily attainable, that are measurable, quantifiable, that have a deadline, that are realistic. For me to say I'm going to make, $30 million this year, unless I was LeBron James, I probably wouldn't be too realistic about that at this point, right? Maybe in the future, we'll see, right? Knock on wood. So that being said, another important part about setting your goals is that you have to have reasons to back up those goals, right? So a lot of times I'll set a goal, but then I'll choose three, I roughly want to come up with three good, juicy reasons as to why that goal is important to me, because that is the fuel that pushes me towards it and will push me through the undoubtedly, are you going to actually go through some stress or have some roadblocks or speed bumps, that sort of thing. Those reasons are going to push you and fuel you through those obstacles, right? So that being said, you got to have those reasons. So when I'm working with clients and I say, well, what's your goal? Well, I'd like to lose weight. I'm like, okay, how much? 2 pounds, 10 pounds, 100 pounds? I'd like to lose 80 pounds. Great. By when? Oh gosh, I don't know. By September, and it's like June. I'm like, oh gosh. So we can be influenced by TV. We can be influenced by, the rare individuals that, shoot to the moon and do it overnight. And we're like, oh, that's what I want, because that would be easier, right? However, truth be told, typically our goals are harder to attain sometimes than the person that we're comparing ourselves to, that we see all over social media and that sort of thing. So that being said, the reason why most people do not achieve their goals, this is the big nugget. If this is all you took away from this video, this will change your life. It's not about the goals you set. It's about the rituals that you create to support those goals, right? Because you can set a goal, like a New Year's resolution of losing weight, of getting healthier, of getting, a strong physique. And yet, if you don't actually turn it into daily habits, daily rituals, which is what my whole philosophy is about, which is create the lifestyle. Level up lifestyle came from the idea of so many people shooting for level 10 when they're at level 0, when quite frankly, if they just got to level 1, they'd be happy, right? It's not actually about achieving that goal, getting to that destination, as it is about the process and the person that you become along the journey of leveling up, right? And each level requires a newer, more confident, a better version of you, right? So the rituals was what it all comes down to. So I set goals. But then when I back things back into a 90-day, okay, what do I actually need to do within the next 90 days to achieve that goal by the end of, December 31st, 2019, it's actually looking at what are going to be my daily habits, my daily rituals that are going to drive my outcomes, right? Because you're always going to get an outcome. We might not get your goals, you might not get your goals, but you will always get an outcome. You always get a result. So when you're looking at your results, I will typically look at individuals' rituals. You show me your rituals, I'll show you your results. So individuals who struggle with their health, let's say, they have very specific rituals throughout the day that don't really support, prioritizing their health. Let's just be honest, right? If you show me someone who has an amazing, relationship with their spouse, it's because they have rituals every single day that they are investing into that, right? Someone may very well be extremely wealthy, but have a really, really crappy physical health. It's because they're giving up and prioritizing rituals differently. So what Level Up Lifestyle, my brand, is all about is allowing you to create balance. Now, is balance really like attainable? That's tough to say because life is always throwing us curveballs. We're always typically off balance, right? The reality is, though, you need to just be confident, centered, so that when you do get knocked off balance, you can get back to your center as quickly as you can, and you are clear with the direction you're going in, and that's going to keep you on your way. So, all that being said, I'm going to work through my goals. Now, I spent the last 2 days working through my 2019 goals. And at the end of the day, I have several categories. Okay, so let me pull those up. A variety of different categories. And yet, I set so many goals, which is very common for what I do. It's just because I get excited about it. There's, I want to do this. I want to do this. But at the end of the day, I have a very good habit, bad habit, whatever you will. I'm a dreamer in that sense of setting so many goals that I overwhelm myself. And I overwhelm myself to then I feel like I don't know where I'm going and what I need to do day to day. And I lose traction and, down that kind of atrophy cycle I go mentally, right? So that being said, let me pull up my goals. I have, here's a variety of categories that I would recommend setting some goals in. I have my financial goals for my business, for my life. I have my mission and my business goals. I have my health and fitness goals. I have my mind, emotions, and ritual goals. I have my relationship goals, my lifestyle and travel goals, and my spiritual and contribution goals. Okay. So by the end of yesterday, I had 55 goals. Now, I felt good about them in the sense of like, I feel like I could achieve a lot of these, but I already started feeling like, all right, I got to bust ass. I got to go. I got to start hustling now. And you know what? For me personally, I watch Gary Vee and so many other guys that are all about the grind and the hustle. Truthfully, that's just not the way that I choose to live. I don't want to live energetically in that space. I want to live in a space of abundance where things flow to me. Like my health, I've got it so it's not to say that I don't have challenges with my health. I've had some of the biggest challenges of my life these last couple of years. And yet it doesn't rock me off my center because I'm so clear with what my rituals are. I'm so clear with the direction I'm going that, it just flows. Relationships, I have so many amazing relationships. They all just flow. They're not difficult. The relationships that are difficult don't seem to last. Same with money. Money flows to me, right? If I'm working on a project that's really I'm struggling with, that's probably because I'm not clear with what I'm doing. It's not really connected to my heart. I don't know why I'm doing it, that sort of thing. So you got to get really, really clear. And so I took those 55 goals and I distilled them down to the 20% that's going to make the 80% of the difference, right? So I'm actually getting the leverage on me. If I were actually to even distill this down to my top 3 or my top 1, I could do that. And that probably would not be a bad idea for me to do. So starting off first with my financial goals, I will easily increase my revenue by 10% USD over the previous month's revenue while working less and positively impacting millions of people's lives by December 31st, 2019. Now, if you'll see how I structured that, I will is a commitment. It's certainty. I'm going to absolutely do this. It's not like I would like to or I want. So no, I will. And then I like to use adjectives that are kind of fun, like abundance driven. I will easily or I will effortlessly achieve this goal, right? So that's my first one. And I like the idea. A lot of times I will set really high income goals for the year. And then again, that little voice, it's like this little voice over here totally believes in me. And this little voice over here is like, yeah, right? So for me, again, going back to that metaphor of like, man, just get as close as you can to that target, as you're shooting the arrows as I was as a little boy at that archery target. If you can get really, really close to it and see, you know what, I believe I can hit that. For me, leveling up my income by 10% a month is not a big deal. right? So if you're making $3,000 a month and you want to just add 10% to that, could you make $3,300 next month? How could you hustle to make $300 more? Maybe you could Uber, you could Lyft, drive, that sort of thing. You could find some other way to add value, right? So to me, that helps me chunk it down to be like, you know what, I can attain that, I can achieve that. If I were to do that consistently and achieve that every single month of 2019, I will 3x my income, which, you know what, I'm good with. But if I set that goal of 3x, a lot of times my brain doesn't compute it. So if that's of help. My second goal, I will easily budget 30% of my monthly revenue, 10% to each of my 2019 taxes, my savings, and my tithing by December 31st, 2019. And remember there, I always have the date because I want to have some type of, measurable timeline that I can gauge those things against. Number 3 is within my mission and business goals. I will easily host 2 men's adventure retreats, creating magic moments and helping countless men transform their lives by December 31st, 2019. I'm psyched about those retreats. That's going to be fun. We've already got one planned for a major kind of adventure, fishing, canoeing trip up in like northern Minnesota in September. It's going to be pretty epic. I will easily host 8 monthly men's group meetings here in Denver. That's where I live. Loving the process while helping men transform every area of their lives by December 31st, 2019. My next goal, I will easily publish 52 videos on my Johnny King YouTube channel, this Level Up Lifestyle channel, while impacting millions of lives by December 31st, 2019. I will easily be featured as a guest speaker on 12 different podcasts by December 31st, 2019. One podcast a month, it should be pretty easy to attain. Would I like to do more than 12? Absolutely. But again, I can shoot for the moon, and I get some of those reasonings for why it's good to like shoot for it. Cause like, why not? Like, what if I shot for 50, but I only got 40? I've done that. It doesn't work for me. I always tend to just get overwhelmed. I don't believe in the number of myself a lot of times, and I give up, right? So that being said, in my health and fitness goals, I will easily improve my flexibility, mobility, strength, size, endurance, and overall health by completing 5 days a week of stretching, posture correction, my Dr. Drew rehab exercises, and my Egoscue method menus by December 31st, 2019. Like I said, I've had a bunch of kind of health challenges over the last couple of years, and I've sought out different professionals and services that are helping me so much, but it just takes consistent work. I can't just go to the chiropractor and expect, one visit gonna, solve all my issues for 2 to 4 weeks. I have to actually follow through on all the rehab exercises that they recommend to strengthen different things, right? So that's pretty important. Working our way through, I will easily find solutions to increase the blood flow in my leg while vastly improving my ability to run farther than 2.5 miles without stopping by December 31st, 2019. Long story short, I got kicked in the back of the leg playing soccer a couple of years ago. It actually led to some pretty massive blood clotting. That changed my life and messed up my leg a pretty good amount. So the blood flow just doesn't move like it used to, and definitely not like in my right leg. So I don't want to just accept that I can run around my lake, which is about 2.5 miles, and just be done. I want to be able to do other longer Spartan races or other type of triathlons, or just do other things that allow me to have greater cardiovascular capacity. So that's super important to me. For my mind, emotions, and my ritual goals, I will easily complete the 100-day challenge to help me achieve some of my biggest goals by December 31st, 2019. There's a 100-day challenge on Google, if you search it on Google, that looks pretty interesting to me. A friend recommended it, and so I'm going to jump into that to really kind of massively just motivate and to get some big-time momentum with so many of these goals that are important to me. So relationship goals. Here you go. Now I'm single at the moment, but I will easily approach a beautiful woman once a week and start a conversation unless I'm in an exclusive relationship by December 31st, 2019. Now, I do a lot of, I just do a lot of dating. That's true. but most of them is from the comfort of my home, in the sense of like setting up dates through online dating apps and things like that, right? Quality, I don't know. I do meet a lot of quality women. However, oftentimes it's the woman that I see in the coffee shop. It's the woman that I see at the grocery store. It's the woman that I pass somewhere in my life that I'm like, I kind of double take. And yet oftentimes I'm like, I'm busy like shopping. I'm busy working. I'm busy doing something. I'm committing myself to stopping and talking to her, old school, starting up a conversation, and being completely unattached to whether she accepts me or blows me off or whatever. Like, it doesn't matter, right? It's just the more chances I give myself, the greater probability I'll have of succeeding in that sense. Because of finding that kind of lasting, loving relationship and starting a family is very high on my list. And then lastly, my spiritual and contribution goals. I had a lifestyle and travel. I have a bunch of travel goals. Why I didn't like bold and put them in my top 12 is because honestly, I love to travel, so it just happens. I just came home like a week ago from a month all over the Middle East, India, Singapore, Malaysia, Indonesia. It was an amazing trip, and I was a month before that in Thailand and Hong Kong. Like, the travel takes care of itself, so I'm almost not worried about achieving those because that tends to happen. My last spiritual and contribution goal is that I will easily join a small group at Red Rocks Church by December 31st, 2019. I have a calling. Every time I go to church, which is extremely important to me, I feel like I need to get more involved. I want to meet more people. I want to study. I want to get deeper into understanding the Bible for me. And I don't know what your spiritual beliefs are, but for me and my relationship with my Creator is super important. And so that's important to me that I join a small group, which is a group that meets outside of church on a weeknight and discuss, Christianity and the Bible and being good people and how that can affect the world and how we can be more in alignment with that. So those are my goals. There you have it. Those are my 12 goals. Will they change? I don't know. I don't think so. I think those are pretty good. Those are pretty solid. The only thing I might change is actually distilling them down again to like my top 3, and I probably will at least go through an asterisk those that are the most important, that need to have, the most emphasis every single day, to keep things moving. What's most important to me right now is my business, it's my health, and it's progressing my relationships, especially my intimate relationship with someone special. So that is what I'm putting out into the universe. I hope that's, powerful for you. I think it's certainly powerful for me, and I'm doing this, and I'd like to, every single year shoot a new video, this time next year for 2020, which is crazy, hard to believe. But then every quarter I'm going to come back and review and do a little video similar to this, where I'm going to review my results and see where I've made some progress and where I might need to kind of up the ante a little bit, because I think that's super important to make sure that I'm on it. I will obviously be checking in not only monthly, weekly, but even daily, because I have a spreadsheet that I have created that actually takes my rituals. I've broken my rituals down into daily actionable items. And so I know that just this week, I have columns for each week of January, let's say, and I'm actually filling in how I'm doing achieving a bunch of these goals. So that's the level of specificity. That might be overwhelming to you. Don't worry about it. I've been doing this for 15 years now, right? I've been working for myself for 10, being an entrepreneur. You might not be an entrepreneur watching this, but it's important to get a level of specificity, because the more you check in on your goals, like I said earlier, the greater the probability you have of hitting the target, right? Otherwise, if you leave New York and you're heading towards, LA, but you don't look at your map of where you're going all but once every 500 or 1,000 miles, and you're just guessing, otherwise, where do you think you're going to end up going off course? Or where do you think you'll end up? You could end up in Mexico, you could end up in Canada, you could end up just still on the East Coast, right? So same metaphor holds true for setting goals, but you really, really, really do need to make sure that you create your reasons why. Okay? Your reasons why your health is important to you, why an amazing relationship with your spouse, your loved ones is important to you, your kids, why your work, your contribution to church, while you're giving, all those things, your business, your income, why all those things are important to you, not to me. I can't tell you why it's important to you, but work on finding something that really, juices you, that gets you excited, that gets you say, that's the reason. You create those reasons for why your goals have turned from I should lose weight, or I probably should invest, or make some progress with my spouse and improve the relationship. Turning those shoulds into musts. That's where you take your standard of lifestyle to another level. Is when you turn your shoulds into musts, and how you do that is by leveling up, by creating the reasons for why they're no longer shoulds, but why they're musts, right? And then how to actually turn those into tangible results is taking those musts turning them into daily rituals, right? You gotta eat every couple hours, you gotta exercise, you gotta, get a coach, if you will, you gotta drink plenty of water. I go to the extent of having stool tests, blood tests, hard metal tests, so many different tests, so that I'm very, very clear as to what's going on, not only outside, because a lot of times the outside could even be fooling someone. We see that a lot with athletes who look extremely fit, but they're not healthy, right? So that being said, the more you can really look at how you're creating your daily rituals that support your goals, the better. Because ultimately, you want to be very, very clear at the end of the day what your vision of your lifestyle ultimately looks like. Whether that's 1 year from now, 3 years from now, 5, 10, 20 years from now, you need to have that powerful vision so that you can set up your goals to be in alignment with going in that direction. Otherwise, if you were to just get in your car every single day, pull out of the driveway, and drive aimlessly with no direction, just like I said earlier, how long would it take? How many days would you have to do that till you just kind of throw your hands in the air and be like, I give up. What am I doing this for? I have no motivation even to get out of bed to get in the car because I don't even know where I'm going. And that's why most people really struggle with setting a goal that's kind of like a means to an end. To lose weight is not actually the individual's ultimate goal or outcome that they want. You have to be very, very clear as to what that ultimate result is, right? To lose weight is a means to an end. What they actually want are the feelings that they're going to get by losing weight. People want to make more money, but it's usually the feelings they want to feel, right? Oh, I want to buy this new car. I want to buy this new house. Yes, but to give you what feelings, that's ultimately what you're really driving for, right? So get very, very clear as to the ultimate outcome, the end result that you want. And then from there, can you back yourself into setting goals towards those end results, and then setting rituals that will get you to achieving those goals and moving you ever closer. So anyways, I hope this is helpful. Would love for you to subscribe to my channel because I'm going to be pumping out tons of new content. This is what my life is all about. My life mission is helping individuals take their life to the next level. Because for me, with every single, I'd say probably honestly about every 18 months, I feel like my life needs to take another step. And oftentimes I have to be courageous enough to let go of something that requires a lot of courage, and I'm scared to do it, but I have to shed off the old Johnny and move towards the next level. And so for individuals, whether it's 12 months, 18 months, 2 years, we constantly have to evolve, and that is what creates happiness. Progress equals happiness. It's not getting to the destination. I guarantee you that. I guarantee you that. And chances are, if you're watching this, you know that to be true. So if anything that I've said in this video has resonated with you, please feel free to make some comments below. Let me know if there's other things that you'd like me to shoot videos on. Reach out to me at johnny@johnnyking.com if you'd like to chat via email or hit me up on social media. You can check out all of those details in the description below, and definitely subscribe to my channel here. So anyways, have a wonderful happy beginning of your 2019. We'll catch up with you guys soon and have an awesome year.